Antonio, Texas. ABC's Jim Ryan with more.
Federal agents have joined the investigation on the assumption that those in the trailer had been smuggled into the country.
We are dealing with a horrific human tragedy,
says San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg.
So I would urge you all to think compassionately and pray for the deceased, the ailing, the families.
At least 16 people from the trailer are hospitalized, some in critical condition. San Antonio touched 100 degrees at 3 o'clock on Monday. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Saying it will hear from new witnesses and present new evidence, the House January 6th committee is announcing a surprise hearing this afternoon.
Sources tell ABC News the committee will hear from Cassidy Hutchinson, a former aide to Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. In depositions played by the committee last week, Hutchinson discussed how prominent Republican lawmakers had inquired about presidential pardons.
He reached out to me to ask if he could have a meeting with Mr. Meadows about receiving a presidential pardon.
Hutchinson has had at least 3 closed-door depositions with the 1-6 committee.
ABC's Mark Remillard. President Biden has left the G7 summit in the Bavarian Alps. He is now on his way to Spain for the NATO summit. Pharmacies across the country are limiting the sale of pills that prevent pregnancies now that the Supreme Court has struck down Roe v. Wade.
Pharmacies nationwide are placing limits on the emergency contraceptive known as Plan B. The over-the-counter drug is different than the abortion pill prescribed by doctors. CVS, Walmart, and Rite Aid are capping the number of Plan B pills a customer can buy as demand surges in the wake of the Supreme Court's ruling.
That's ABC's Derek Dennis. National Transportation Committee investigators will be on the scene of the train derailment in Missouri. 3 people were killed and at least 40 were hospitalized when an Amtrak traveling from L.A. to Chicago struck a dump truck. You're listening to ABC News.
Was your business hurt in the years of the pandemic? Have you had a decline in revenue since 2019? Was your business partly or fully shut down by the government? If you answered yes to any of these questions and have 5 employees or more, you may be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. How? By taking advantage of the Employee Retention Tax Credit, a fully funded tax credit created to help businesses during these difficult times. The experts at Benchmark Human Capital are ready to help you get the money you are owed. The pre-qualification is absolutely free. Even if you got PPP money, this is more money that may be owed to you. Repayment is not necessary. The money is all yours. The IRS writes you a check. That's right, a check. Get your free pre-qualification now if you have 5 employees or more. Call 800-535-ERTC. Take advantage of this tax credit while funds remain available. Call Benchmark Human Capital today at 800-535-ERTC and claim what is rightfully yours. That's 800-535-ERTC, 800-535-3782.
New talks today on reviving the Iran nuclear deal. The U.S. and Iran appear to be on the verge of indirect talks, with officials from both countries spotted in Qatar. Talks about renewing the deal being held officially in Vienna have been on hold since March. Since the 2015 agreement unraveled, Iran has been working on enriching more uranium. More primaries across the U.S. today.
Governor's races this year could determine if a state outlaws or keeps abortion legal. There is a 3-way Democratic fight for the governor's chair in New York. With incumbent Kathy Hochul expected to win, she'll face a Republican race winner, which may be former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani's son Andrew, who's running on the GOP ticket. There's an odd race in Illinois. 2 current Republican members of Congress running against each other in a redrawn congressional district. Rodney Davis voted to certify Joe Biden's win and supported the January 6th investigation. Representative Mary Miller did not.
That's ABC's Andy Field. Anyone looking for an early getaway for the 4th of July weekend might be in a little trouble today. Already over 400 flights have been canceled after nearly 1,000 were grounded yesterday by bad weather. Airlines are suffering staffing shortages as well. July 4th cookouts will be more expensive this year. Inflation pushing prices for things like ground beef up 36% compared to last year. Chicken prices up 33%. The cost of lemonade is 20% more than last year. This is ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Get off the endless debt treadmill and start saving money each month. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Call Total Financial now at 800-208-1312. 800-208-1312.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It's the time of year to come to NC Tractor for the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. NC Tractor gives fantastic customer service, the best discounts possible, and it's a locally owned business. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue is helping to make outdoor work more enjoyable. Should you have something that you can be proud of for a long time? Massey Ferguson and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. Come look them over. 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. That phone number is 288-0395.
We are going to see temperatures for today in the low to mid 80s. We're going to get a break from the 90s, and the humidity will drop throughout the afternoon. A few isolated showers cannot be ruled out across our southern counties today, but for the most part, we will see mostly dry conditions. Highs will be in the low to mid 80s tomorrow. We do have a better chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms develop across the area due to a cold front being to the south. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, it's cloudy right now as we wake up and get our day started. It's 6 minutes after 7 o'clock and 67 degrees. It should be a nice day overall, though. Maybe get a few showers, maybe less this afternoon. Those showers yesterday, weren't they nice? Glad to get them. I think everybody got some. Some sections maybe not. We'll find out from our reporters how much rain they got. 6 minutes after 7, now have these death announcements. Jamie Scarborough, 70 of Forest City, died Monday, June 27th. Those arrangements incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Jamie Scarborough. William Rufus McGowan died Sunday, June 26th. A service will be held on Friday, July 1st at 2 p.m. at First United Methodist Church in Rutherford, and Crow's Funeral Home is assisting the family of William Rufus McGowan. Roanne Bailey Carpenter, age 88, of Rutherford, died Saturday, June 25th at her home. A service for the graveside will be held at 11 o'clock Tuesday, June 28th at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. The family will receive friends following the service at the cemetery. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Roanne Bailey Carpenter. Wayne Hensley, age 66, of Forest City, passed away Friday, June 24th at his residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 7 o'clock tonight at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral Home, serving the family of Wayne Hensley. William Bill Campbell, Sr., age 88, of Forest City, passed away Sunday, June 26th at Willow Ridge Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Wednesday, June 29th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church Cemetery in Forest City. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for William Bill Campbell, Sr. Jerry Lewis Hopper, 68, passed away Thursday, June 23rd at his home. Funeral services will be held 6 until 8 o'clock at Rutherford County at Rutherford Chapel, 124 Fairhope Street, Forest City, on Wednesday, June 29th. Arrangements entrusted to Robert Morgan Funeral and Cremation Services of Bowling Springs for Jerry Lewis Hopper. Paulette Cash Littlejohn of Ellenboro died June the 11th. The celebration of life will be held at 2 p.m. Saturday, July 2nd at Crow's Funeral Chapel for Paulette Cash Littlejohn. Johnny Timothy Walker, 61, of Chesney, passed away Tuesday, June 21st at his residence. A funeral service will be private, and Eggers Funeral Home in Cliffside is serving the family of Johnny Timothy Walker of Chesney. On Friday, June 24th, Brenda Elizabeth Graham White of Forest City passed away at the age of 65. A memorial graveside service to be held at a later date, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service has been entrusted with those arrangements for Brenda Elizabeth Graham White. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others, as they become available to us, you can listen in this morning at 11:35. And then again at 5:10, it's part of the afternoon Call Around the County newscast. Here on WCAB, the most information from the foothills is right here, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Here's Bill O'Reilly Morning Update.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, AMAC is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful news, and a magazine full of uncensored content. They are pushing back against efforts to defund the police, weaken the borders, and corrupt our youth. But they need your help. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us. On this Tuesday, one of the awful things about the collapse of public education is that most Americans lack a fundamental understanding of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Therefore, when the Supreme Court declared unconstitutional New York State's refusal to allow law-abiding citizens to carry legally purchased handguns, there was immediately an insane amount of gibberish hoisted on the public. About 2 million Americans heard the far-left ladies on The View posit that because of the ruling, we New Yorkers are in far more danger. According to the women, Wild West shootouts will soon erupt, paging Wyatt Earp. What these nincompoops fail to understand is that criminals already have handguns, and they didn't buy them from honest dealers who have to impose extensive background checks the thugs would never endure. You cannot buy a handgun in New York or California or many other states without having your entire life scrutinized. Joey the Pusher is not going to do that. So vicious criminals are armed and innocent civilians are not in many places. Last year, there were 37,000 violent crimes committed in New York State alone, almost all of the victims unarmed. So give me a break. The founders wanted honest people to be able to protect themselves from evil predators. That is the right to bear arms. It'll still be difficult to buy a pistol and get a carry permit in New York State. But now, because of the Supreme Court ruling, it is not impossible. Back after this. Many timeshare owners are very upset because their yearly dues have nearly doubled. Well, Lone Star will guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. With their A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau, clients know that Lone Star Transfer is a company you can trust. For a free consultation, please go to LoneStarTransfer.com or call 855-551-7066. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
A lot of stations can play great music, but it's what we do between the music that sets us apart. Serving the foothills of the Carolinas, we're family-friendly radio, WCAB.
It's a challenge to convince a sick and frightened child that they needn't be afraid of the hospital. But it starts here at Encourage Kids. For over 30 years, we've been focused on making all of our pediatric partner hospitals a better place to get better. Encourage Kids provides the resources and the funding to bring relief directly to hospitalized kids through uplifting activities and positive therapies, resulting in smiles, magic, laughter, and hope. To learn more, visit encourage-kids.org.
If someone came into a bank in the Old West and announced, "I'm Crawford Goldsby and this is a holdup," the teller would probably have laughed. That's why you've never heard of Outlaw Crawford Goldsby. Crawford was born in 1876. His mother was a combination of black, Cherokee, and white. His father was white, Mexican, and Sioux. At the age of 16, Crawford had a dispute with a man who proceeded to whip him. He got a gun and shot him. Though it wasn't fatal, Crawford hightailed it to the Indian Territory. Next, Crawford came up with a name with a little more pizzazz. He became Cherokee Bill. Now he could build a reputation, and he wasted no time doing it. On June 26, 1894, Cherokee Bill killed his first man, a posse member that was chasing him. His sister's husband had beaten her. Shortly afterward, the brother-in-law was dead. Next, a railroad agent was killed in a holdup. A railroad conductor was killed when he tried to throw Cherokee off a train. and then a bystander was shot during another holdup. Cherokee Bill was finally arrested, brought before hanging Judge Parker, convicted and sentenced to hang. Cherokee Bill walked up the 12 steps to the hangman's noose. When he got to the top, he looked at the crowd, smiled, and said, "Look at the people. Something must be going to happen." When asked if he had anything to say, he replied, "I came here to die, not to make a speech." He died at the age of 20 after killing almost 13 people in 2 years, an obvious result of changing his name from Crawford Goldsby to Cherokee Bill. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
When your taste buds are screaming for delicious, head over to Jesse James Railroad Express. Enjoy fresh cooked burgers, garden salads, hot dogs any way you like, French fries. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. They're open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. That's Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Ruth. Call ahead, 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Well, good morning, everybody. If you're just waking up, welcome to the morning wake-up call in this hour number 2, the Call Around the County newscast, getting you informed of what's been happening in the past few hours. On the phone with me right now is Sheriff Chris Francis to give us that news. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you?
I'm well, Jim Bishop. I hope you are.
I am indeed. Better than I deserved.
No doubt.
Tell us what's been going on. Been a lot of activity the past 24, I believe.
Been extremely busy. In the last 24 hours, we have responded to 167 calls to service. There have been 11 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 197. Among those arrested, Kenny Edward Buff Jr., 36-year-old male of Far City, was charged with tampering with his sex offense monitor and received a $50,000 secure bond. Melissa Dawn Bailey, a 49-year-old female of Far City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $200 cash bond. Jasmine Cherie Lipscomb, 24-year-old female of Rutherford, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and received a $500 secure bond. Davion Marquez Flack, 30-year-old male, was charged with communicating threats and injury to property and received a $2,000 secure bond. Kevin Matthew Pruitt, 35-year-old male of Far City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear, received a $5,000 secure bond. Marshall Craig Rippey, 51-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with assaulting a female and communicating threats. We'll see a district court judge for bond for those, and is also involved in a shooting last night that's still under investigation. Shaylin Renee Lauder, 39-year-old female of Bostik, was charged with assault with a deadly weapon and received an unsecured bond. Among our incidents, we had larceny on Maple Creek Road in Robeson. There was a coin collection valued at $3,000 that was taken possibly from an estate of a recently deceased person. We had a break-in and larceny, Big Island Road, to an outbuilding. There was a washing machine valued at $250, as well as assorted clothing valued at $50 taken in that incident. We had another B&E and larceny to an outbuilding, US 221 South. It was a black TNT electric cutter tool valued at $10,000, a black TNT electric spreader tool valued at $10,000. Both of these are firefighting equipment. 6 red Makita battery chargers, as well as 6 Makita batteries, both valued at $1,000. 2 large recovery hooks valued at $500, and some large chains also involved in that incident. We had the assault with a deadly weapon there on Middle Street in Ellenboro. There appeared to be a domestic dispute between Marshall Castles, 44-year-old female. She was shot in the leg by Marshall Craig Rippey, 51-year-old male. Allegedly, they were both shooting at each other with black powder pistols. I know that Marshall Rippey is a felon, but is not a possession of a firearm by felon when it's a black powder pistol. But that is still under investigation. She was taken to Cleveland Hospital. She had a wound to her lower leg around the ankle area where she was struck by one of those rounds that hit her. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
And that was in Ellenboro, or was it Caroline?
It's an Ellenboro address. It's Middle Street, Caroline.
Yeah, okay. Too many of those.
It's odd. It's odd where they call Ellenboro and Mooresboro, but it's all Caroline.
Yeah, Mooresboro goes forever and ever out there. You don't never know where it is when it says Mooresboro address. I always think of Cleveland County when I hear Mooresboro, but it's
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. This particular address is Caroline all day long. I've always known it as that, but that is considered Ellenboro address for mail purposes.
Sheriff, I appreciate your information. Thank you for being with us, and you have a safe day out there, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Too many shootings going on here lately. 20 minutes after 7, we'll get to the 911 report in just a moment.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Here's Mike now from 911 Communications to give us an update. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
What's on that report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 407 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 84 emergency medical services, 167 from the Sheriff's Office, 107 Forest City, 3 from Lake Lure, 39 from Rutherford, and 57 from Spindale. Sandy Mush Fire Department went to a motor vehicle accident and a residential fire alarm. An SDO Fire Department went to smoke outside of a structure and a power line fire. And that's everything.
Thanks so much, Mike. You have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye. 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, a pedestrian was struck and killed last week as he attempted to cross the street in downtown Forest City. According to an article in the Courier, Dell Edward West, 65, of Forest City, was hit Tuesday night, June 21st at 9:44 p.m. as he crossed Oak Street using a marked crosswalk at Young Street. A 1992 Toyota 4x4 pickup truck driven by Christopher Chad Sneed, 47, of Bostik, was traveling east in the right lane on Oak Street. By the time Sneed saw West, there was not enough time to stop before striking the vehicle, according to Forest City Police reports. Reports state Sneed both braked and swerved toward the left in an effort to avoid hitting West. However, the front corner of the truck clipped the victim. West was knocked to the roadway of 85 feet from the point of impact. First responders rendered aid to West in efforts to take the victim to a landing zone to be airlifted to the hospital. However, West perished prior to the arrival of the medic helicopter. The fatality was deemed an accident with no fault assigned to Sneed. No charges were filed per the district attorney's determination after talking with police about their findings. A crash reconstruction determined Sneed was traveling at a speed of 45 miles per hour at the time of impact. According to an obituary on the webpage for Paget Key Mortuary, West was a U.S. Army veteran. He had a love for music and was affectionately known as Delvis. No formal services are planned at this time. And that's a story out of town. SDO, get the SDO report from Ruby Taylor. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, they had a power line fire. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Wayne Roop and Claude Pritchard having birthday, and hope they have a nice day. And the signs are in the arms today and going to the breast tomorrow. And I've got tree. I'm tree trouble again, Jim.
Oh, you ready? You have a tree down?
It's not down. It blowed a big limb out of my pecan tree, and it just missed my house.
Oh, my goodness.
And I've got a man out here now already.
Boy, I tell you, those limbs just don't spare anything.
They're coming off. I'm tired of this mess. I'm tired of. I can't hack this mess.
Yeah. Do you ever get any pecans off your pecan tree?
Yes, on my pecan tree.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 3 pecans, but this one's the biggest, and so I'm getting it trimmed down.
Okay. Well, be careful over there, Ruby. We'll see you.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
My guest this morning in the Blue Room, coming in to talk about a new book she's written, is Nancy Womack. Nancy Womack's written Red Jacket Requiem, and we'll talk with her about that book this morning around 8:30 right here in the Blue Room. And here's Gary Wilson reporting to us from the Fairfield Mountains Fire District and Bills Creek Fire District. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
We're doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Off to a nice cool start up here this morning. Sure feels different than it did yesterday.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It does. Cloudy and about 66 degrees this morning. It's about 5 or 6 degrees cooler than we've been having in the mornings here lately, and less humidity starting off. But I'm sure it'll come back. It is summertime. And next week will be the 4th, and a lot of people coming in this week and this weekend, so it'll be a busy time. Everybody be careful and out there and enjoy it. And be glad to live in the country where you can celebrate.
Absolutely, absolutely. I bet the resort will be booked up, won't they, for the weekend?
They will. They probably already are. And there'll be a lot going on in the whole county. I hope everybody has a safe one. And no fire calls up here overnight. And got quiet night for us and Bills Creek, I think. So,
okay.
And that's about all we got, Jim.
Gary, thank you so much. Have a good day now.
You too.
All right, bye. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197. Braves were off last night, but they pick up a series with the Phillies tonight. 5:50 airtime. We'll have that for you tonight. Join us for the Braves throughout the rest of the season. And here's DeVern Upton in Bostik with the Bostik Fire District Report. Good morning, DeVern. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How about you?
I feel the same way.
Well, good. Well, our temperature over here in Bostik this morning is 68 degrees. We had a good rain yesterday, and we thank the Lord for that. Fire department had no calls, but remember our volunteer firefighters as they go out when they have to. We have one birthday, Johnny Evans. We want to wish him a happy birthday today. Stop in at Washburn Store on Sunshine Highway and check their items out. And remember, the 4th of July is coming up Sunday. Hope everyone has a good celebration for that and has a wonderful day today.
Well, I hope you have a good day as well, DeVern, and keep us posted, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
And let's talk to Bob Hodge now and see what kind of news Bob Hodge has for us on this Tuesday morning. Good Tuesday morning, Bob.
Well, good Tuesday morning to you. You're looking mighty fine over there this morning.
Oh, you're just saying that because it's true.
Oh, I know it's true.
Bob, did you get into that rain yesterday?
Yes, we got a pretty good shower there for a few minutes yesterday afternoon. So let the hard shower come through, and then it moved on there. But it feels good out here this morning.
Yes, it does. That rain sure looked good, too. I was glad to see it.
I was, too, there. We was getting dry up here. But look like we'll have a little chance, maybe some more later on this week there.
Yep.
And Jim, with the fire department, it's been quiet overnight. Hadn't had any fire call. Want to say happy birthday to Ray Doggett and Aiden Mostella this morning. And Jim, that's about it. Things are sort of quiet up here this morning, and maybe we'll have a quiet day, and I hope you have a good day now over there.
Well, thank you. I hope it is quiet for the fire department. Hope they don't have to go out on any calls, and I hope you have a great day as well. You and I, Virginia, enjoy it.
All right, you too.
See you now.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Cherry Mountain Fire District is where we're stopping next to get the news from over there. That beautiful community. Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
You feeling good today?
I am. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Real good. Looks like we're going to have a pretty nice day today.
Yes.
Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they've been quiet. Don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar or my personal calendar. Fairview's got a birthday for David Yelston, so I hope David's going to have a good day today. And nothing on First Broads for today, I don't think. No. I don't have anything on theirs. And in my announcements, the Bible school at Fairview is going on this week. It started last night, and it'll go through the 1st, July 1st, so from 6 to 8 at night. And I hope they have a good turnout and a good time. I'm sure they will. I always enjoyed Bible school, but so far, that's the only announcement I have, Jim. It's just quiet and calm, looking for a good day, and hope you'll have one.
You enjoy your day as well, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's Sue Price reporting in this morning. A fentanyl-laced lollipop has been linked to at least one of 5 drug overdoses that happened at the Tryon Equestrian Center last weekend, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. The overdoses happened during the PBR Tryon Shootout Bull Riding competition Friday, where approximately 4,000 spectators were in attendance. The reported overdoses at the Tryon International Equestrian Center Friday were not affiliated with the PBR event held on the property and did not include any PBR staff or athletes, according to the report. A representative for Tryon International Equestrian Center declined to comment, but stated they were fully cooperating with the Polk County Sheriff's Office in this investigation. According to Chief Deputy Jeff Ramsey, all 5 overdose victims were aware they were purchasing drugs. He added that the general public is in no danger of coming across drug-laced candy. Investigators have several suspects and charges are pending. Ramsey said he believes all the overdose victims have been treated and released from the hospital. The Friday night overdoses came on the heels of 3 fentanyl overdoses in Polk County in May. The Sheriff's Office suspects those 2 involved fentanyl as well. All right, let's head over toward the Shingle Hollow Fire District now. Tina White's on the phone to give us an update on the news from there in Green Hill. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I am fine as snuff, just not as dusty.
Well, when it's strong, you need to get 2 bros. So what is that old saying? If your stuff's too strong, it's wrong. Get 2 bros. Get 2 bros. I remember hearing that as a radio jingle years ago.
Oh.
Never had any in my mouth. Don't know what it tastes like.
Well, hopefully it's a thing of the past.
So what's going on over there? Huh?
So here in Shingle Hollow this morning it is 68 degrees, and the fire department had a call yesterday. They assisted Green Hill with a house fire that was yesterday morning, and they worked hard on that. The house was a total loss, but they were able to save the garage, which the family runs a business out of, so we're thankful they were able to do that. We're just thankful for our firemen. and fire ladies. And we have birthdays today. Let's see, Pilgrim Way has a birthday, or anniversary, for Adam and Christine Tipton. And then Piney Knob has a birthday for Tommy Rhodes. And that's all I have today. Nothing.
That fire in Green Hill, is that the one on Big Sky Drive in Green Hill community?
Yes, yes.
There was one fatality there reported after that fire broke out. The call was called out to the blaze, and which significantly damaged the home. 6 fire departments responded to the deadly fire, as well as Rutherford County Emergency Management. The name of the deceased had not been released at press time. The Courier was reporting that the State Bureau of Investigation is assisting local officials with that ongoing investigation. There should have been more details on that one, but there was one life claimed in that fire. Sad news.
Yes, I didn't realize that. Yes, that is sad news. But like you said, there were 6 fire departments that were involved in that too.
All right. Everything else
quiet?
Everything
else is quiet. We don't have any announcements for this weekend. It's going to be a holiday weekend. Everybody stay safe out there, and God bless you.
God bless you, too, and have a safe one up there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, Tina. Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning, 7:36, and our temperature reading right now is 70 degrees. 70 degrees on the outside. Now hear this.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
From Shingle Hollow to Union Mills, we skip hopping over across the county to get the news. Brenda Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you on this terrific Tuesday morning?
I'm happy as I can be.
I'm glad to hear it.
Well, not happy as I could be. I could be happier if I was had a big old bowl of ice cream with maybe some strawberries along the edge of it, something like that. You know, that'd make me real happy.
Strawberry Sunday.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
You doing okay?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I am.
Heart still in rhythm?
Yeah, it's just ticking right along.
Good.
It may stop any minute, but right now it's ticking.
I hope it doesn't stop anytime soon.
I hope it don't either. But let's see, I've got 64 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries. In ways of announcements, Gilkey's Cafe Breakfast, July the 9th, starting at 7 a.m. and going to 10 a.m. Adults is $8, kids 6 to 12, $3, kids 5 and under free, and money goes to support the community center. And so far, that's all I got going on, and we still haven't got any rain up here.
You didn't get any of that yesterday?
Nope, nothing. I didn't even hear no thunder.
Really?
Yeah. Of course, I wasn't outside, but usually I can hear it even if I'm inside. But no, we hadn't got not nary a drop.
I believe you're going to have to move.
I believe that these people need to pay the preacher.
Yes, sometimes that does help.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good shower at home, and Lou was telling me she was on the air, and I texted her. She said they weren't getting anything here at the station at that point in time either, but we were getting a good heavy shower.
Well, Bob said they got rain over there, and by the way the crow flies, I'm not over 3 miles from him probably.
Yeah.
So
strange how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. But maybe today, who knows?
Well,
we've always got hope.
Yes, there is hope.
Yeah.
Bob's gone, but we still have hope.
That's right. That's exactly right. But anyway, I guess you better go check on Luther Sweet thing and see how things are in Ellenboro.
All right, Brenda, have a good one.
Catch you later.
All right, bye-bye. And we will check in with Ellenboro right after this. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Now let's head over to Ellenboro, east of here, going toward Shelby, just the edge of Cleveland County. There we have a place called Ellenboro, and Luther Gilligan reports the news for us from there. And he's on the phone with you right now. Luther Gilligan, good morning.
Good morning, you two. Hope you're having a good day.
My day's going off great so far.
Good, mine is too. Going to be a great day down here. But
Good.
it's rather cloudy this morning. But we got a little shower of rain yesterday. That helps a little bit.
Good.
Cool things down. It's rather cool. It feels good out there this morning. But it's quiet down here this morning. The fire department didn't have anything all day yesterday. They got to sleep all night last night, so everybody's happy about that. So that helps happening down here. So you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. I'll see you next time.
All right, take care now.
All right, bye-bye. We're going to have birthdays and anniversaries called in to us while we're doing that also. Go see if we can reach the good folks over to Drop-In Family Mart in Bostik and talk with them, but you could call your birthdays in at the same time. 287-3356 is the number to call, that birthday line, and let us know you're celebrating another birthday or anniversary. It's always a great thing when we have another one. Rather than not having one, it's a pretty good thing. So call yours too. Let us celebrate with you. Give you a big shout-out, 287-3356.
Capture the moment, share the moment with Carolina West Wireless. Right now, whether you're a new or existing customer, there are great deals for everyone. With our savings stack up, you can stay connected while saving up to $1,050. Save $400 on the new iPhones 13, plus $150 when you switch, and up to $500 on device trade-ins. And with our 5G network, you can capture the moment and share it from wherever you are. Visit a Carolina West Wireless store and start saving today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions apply. See representative for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Here's a question for you. Are you uninsured or have a high deductible plan? Brock Family Care may be the right fit for you and your family. Brock Family Care offers a membership plan of $75 a month, and that includes unlimited visits, 2 sets of complete labs per year, 1 annual physical exam including an EKG, even house calls as appropriate. This seems to be the answer to put an end to complications with medical care and insurance plans. To learn more, call or visit the website at www.brockfamilycare.com. That phone number is 828-382-7282. Well, Granny B's welcomes you each time you want to have breakfast or lunch or an afternoon snack. You can rest assured that Granny B's food's fresh. It's prepared as you order it. It's not stored away back there. It's made fresh as you order it, including those delicious daylight donuts. If you like to have breakfast, they're serving breakfast right now. They started early this morning with breakfast, 6:30, and you can order what you like, pancakes, maybe scrambled eggs or over easy eggs, and maybe toast and jelly. What's your breakfast menu like? They've got it for you at Granny B's there in Spindale, Main Street, right next door to the Shake Shop. Just go by and order breakfast this morning. Eat it inside the nice little restaurant there, or you can take it with you. Either way, it's always a pleasure to have a good meal with folks who are local and homegrown people with know how to serve the people in Rutherford County. Locally owned business. Let's support them. Granny B's there in Spindale. Well, if you're looking for a place to go to get those groceries and don't have to go into town, think about Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostik, because they got a grocery store, plus a convenience store, plus a deli, all in one, plus a great produce stand, and a fresh meat market, all that combined in one store. It's really a unique opportunity for you to enjoy and shop local and keep the Mondays right here in Rutherford County. They'll fix your meat the way you like it. If you want a steak cut, let them know how big you want it, how thick you want it. They'll do that. And they got a fresh counter of produce they bring in weekly. So why don't you go by and give them just sample it out, see what you think about them. If you get hungry, they got a great deli back there. They'll serve you breakfast right now. They have the breakfast pizza that's pretty popular. Those chicken sticks, not sticks, strips. Yeah, there we go. Chicken strips are some of the best in the area. So I can vouch for that. You go by the Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostik, right across from the post office.
Happy birthday.
No local birthdays called in this morning, but we have some folks who are celebrating nationally, or they would be if they were still alive. 1922, Michael Vale, known for being the Dunkin' Donut guy. He got to make the donuts. He died in 2005. 1926, Mel Brooks, an actor and comedian, director, born. 1931, Junior Johnson, NASCAR owner and racer, died in 2019. 1948, Kathy Bates was born. She's an actress. 1971, Elon Musk, entrepreneur and inventor, was born. Today's his birthday as well. Some of the events on this day: 1762, the first counterfeiting attempt. 1776, final draft of the Declaration of Independence submitted to Continental Congress. 1859, first dog show is held. 1951, Amos and Andy premiered on CBS. Love that show. 1965, first U.S. ground combat forces in Vietnam, authorized by Lyndon Johnson. This is National Alaska Day. Been up there 2.5 years. National Insurance Awareness Day and National Logistics Day and National Paul Bunyan Day. So now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB Rutherford.
The Bible reminds us that we are to be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for us. That is not always easy to accept. Does that mean that all of our circumstances are God's will for us, or that we are to be thankful regardless of the circumstances? I think the scriptures mean that we are to develop a thankful heart in spite of the circumstances that surround us. The story is told of two men taking a shortcut through a field. Partway through the pasture, they spotted a bull that was enraged by their presence. Instantly, they took off for the nearest fence, but perceived they would not make it. Filled with fright, the one man yelled out to the other to start praying. Even though the man didn't know how to pray, he felt that he at least needed to try. He decided to use the only prayer that he knew. It was the one that he used to hear his dad pray before the evening meal. As the man gasped for breaths of air as he sprinted to the fence, he blurted out, "O Lord, for what we are about to receive, make us truly thankful." Thankfulness is hard for some, even in the best of circumstances, let alone when difficulties are bearing down upon us. However, it is in the difficult times that we truly learn to trust the care of a loving God. We can trust Him with our lives and sincerely thank Him for what we are about to receive. He knows best and will do what's best. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
A lot of stations can play great music, but it's what we do between the music that's
in a truck that was carrying as many as 100 likely undocumented immigrants. Homeland Security agents are now spearheading the investigation into where they were from and who brought them into the country. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
NTSB investigators will be on the scene of a train derailment in rural Missouri when an Amtrak traveling from L.A. to Chicago collided with a dump truck on the tracks.
Passengers describing the terrifying moment an Amtrak train derailed, killing at least 3 people.
All of a sudden, the car that we were on was over and everyone was flying everywhere.
It was not immediately clear why the dump truck was on the tracks, but authorities say there are no crossing arms at that location, which is not unusual in rural areas.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert. The Select Committee investigating January 6th will hold an extra session today. ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl says they'll be hearing from a new witness.
Her name is Cassidy Hutchinson. Her appearance was first reported by Punchbowl News. She was an assistant to Mark Meadows, the chief of staff, and she was right there in the West Wing while the Capitol was under attack, and Donald Trump was ignoring pleas by those close to him to get out and to do something or say something to call off his supporters who were attacking the building.
NATO members meeting in Madrid this week. President Biden leaving the G7 summit in Bavarian Alps early to get there. At that summit, leaders in the world's wealthiest democracies renewed their united stance against the Russian invasion of Ukraine. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
Staffing shortages along with bad weather blamed for nearly 1,000 flight cancellations yesterday, and today is starting off with more, over 450 according to FlightAware. Here's ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
As an estimated 11 million people prepare to fly this July 4th weekend, airlines are getting creative to keep planes crisscrossing the country. Envoy Air, a regional carrier owned by American Airlines, is now offering pilots triple pay to work on their days off, saying it's part of a proactive strategy to run a reliable schedule during the peak summer travel season.
Investigators in South Africa are still trying to figure out why 21 teenagers died at a nightclub over the weekend. None of the bodies showed any signs of injury. An initial probe now suggests they either ingested or inhaled something, but officials are waiting for lab results. At least 13 people killed in a gas leak at a port in Jordan.
Officials reporting over 250 people were injured after chlorine gas leaked from a storage tank in Jordan's Aqaba port. The tank was being exported but fell while being transported. Area residents are now being told to shut their windows and stay indoors. The Civil Defense Service says specialized teams are still dealing with the leak. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News. At the foreign desk.
Britney Spears' ex-husband, Jason Alexander, has now been ordered to stand trial on stalking charges after crashing her wedding earlier this month. This is ABC News.
If you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA-registered at-home treatment. This unique two-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
We're still seeing some lingering showers due to the cold front that moved through yesterday. It's just towards the south of our area, allowing us to see those scattered showers as we head throughout the day. But for the most part, areas well to the north will see dry conditions. Highs will be in the low to mid-80s today. Tomorrow, they'll top in the low to mid-80s. We do have a better chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms develop for tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, cloudy skies out there on this terrific Tuesday morning, but 68 degrees, pretty pleasant right now, but we're warming up to about 79 with the wind gusting today about 11 miles per hour, dropping back tonight to about 65, a little cooler than we are right at this particular moment. And there is a slight chance of more precipitation this evening. Some of us in the county got a nice rain shower yesterday. Some of us didn't, but we were thankful for every little bit we got. Mostly cloudy with scattered showers on Wednesday and maybe rain again Thursday night. Let's enjoy the weather because we're going to have it. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, Andrew Tisdale is in the building, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll talk to him right after this.
Capture the moment, share the moment with Carolina West Wireless. Right now, whether you're a new or existing customer, there are great deals for everyone. With our savings stack up, you can stay connected while saving up to $1,050. Save $400 on the new iPhones 13, plus $150 when you switch, and up to $500 on device trade-ins. And with our 5G network, you can capture the moment and share it from wherever you are. Visit a Carolina West Wireless store and start saving today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions apply. See representative for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
All right, let's turn our attention now. You know, when things are good financially, it's good to have a good financial advisor. When things are a little sketchy, it's good to have a financial advisor. That's why we're glad we got Andrew Tisdale from Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing. He's here with us. I'm looking at him eyeball to eyeball. Good morning, sir.
Eye to eye, face to face, smile to smile.
You doing okay?
Yes, sir. How about you?
How's the ball team doing?
Junior Legion's doing well. I don't even know how many. I think they've lost 2.
Yeah.
Senior Legion, I think's lost only 3 or 4. So there's
somebody won the state title. Who was that? Some league won the state championship, I believe.
They believe it was a little league, and you put me on the spot there. So I don't know. We need to go research that.
The picture was in the paper this morning. I can't remember either right offhand.
I hadn't seen the paper this morning. If you're out there, we're going to find out.
We will.
And then we're going to congratulate you. There's a lot of talent in this county.
Patrick Waters is the coach of that team.
He was with Rutherford, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, tell us about our financial market.
Well, we need to know. Let's see. Yesterday, it was a little flat. We've had some rebounding coming back. So what does that mean? Is everybody just taking a deep breath and everybody just saying, okay, we're good? Well, let's look at past history. If you look at past history, guess what? Every day is different. Every day is different. So let's look at it a step even farther back. What about history? What does history show? It works 100% of the time when you look at it from a long-range perspective. If you are trying to invest for tomorrow and just tomorrow only, that's very risky. But if you're investing for the long haul, you're in good shape, and you're going to be in good shape because you will achieve financial freedom. How do you do that? It's pretty simple. Save, invest, and repeat. I mean, very, 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 very influencing individual to me was my grandfather, Thomas Tisdale, the prettiest man in Ellenboro. And he told me, he said, Andrew, you have a talent. And I said, what is that? He said, you can be wealthy. And I said, my head got really big. It's shrunk a little bit. He said, because you have time, now you have to get disciplined. He said it takes time and discipline to get that wealth. Time and discipline. Save, invest, repeat. Look for growth, not just preservation. Look for growth. God gave us some land. He wants us to grow things on it, not just let it just sit there and be dormant. And also reducing debt. Now let's think about this. Interest rates are going up. If you have debt and you see rates are starting to go up, if I have a credit card and I'm paying 10% in interest and I pay that off, guess what I'm saving myself? 10% interest. That is actually growth, because after I pay it off, I now have more money to save, invest, and repeat. Even though things on day-by-day basis, sometimes we have rain, sometimes we have sunshine, it's going to work if we stick with it. Stick with the plan.
Sound like a good plan?
Save, invest, repeat.
Save, invest, repeat.
Save, invest, repeat.
From a man who knows what he's doing, Andrew Tisdale, financial advisor with Edward Jones, making sense of our investing. If our investing doesn't make sense to us, it does it to me. I've got to have somebody to advise me. It doesn't make sense. I understand all those up and down the charts, but Andrew's been doing this a while. He knows how to advise you. You'll find him over on Charlotte Road up on the hill there. The phone number is 287-9197. Or look him up at andrew.tisdale@edwardjones.com.
Guess what?
What?
We actually have a sign now.
Do you have a sign up there?
We do. You drive right by, it says Edward Jones.
All right.
So many people went past and had to turn around, but we now have a sign. Thank you, Edward Jones, for sending that sign.
Good for you. That'd be very noticeable there on Charlotte Road. A lot of activity on Charlotte Road with the new road and all that clearing out there. So
There has been a lot of tree cutting, a lot of.
You'll be in a good spot there.
We're going to be in a great spot.
Andrew Tisdale, thanks for being with us. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Y'all have a great week.
Have a good week. 11 minutes after 8 o'clock, and I'll be back with news from here and there in just a moment. Compassion, commitment, and professionalism. These are the qualities family members need at a time of sorrow. That's why families in Rutherford County turn to Harrelson Funeral Home. The professional staff at Harrelson Funeral Home in Forest City understands your sadness, your loneliness, and your need for guidance. You'll know when you turn to Harrelson Funeral Home that your deepest concerns will be felt. You need someone to listen and guide you through the process of planning a funeral. That's why you need Harrelson Funeral Home. To make it easier on you at that difficult time, plan early for services you'll want for your loved ones. Call Harrelson Funeral Home today. That phone number is 657-6383. See why Harrelson Funeral Home is the choice for you. 1251 Highway 221A, Forest City. Another bottom of the hour at 8:30 this morning. Nancy Womack, due to be in our Blue Room with us to talk about a new book she's just finished called Jacket Requiem. We'll talk to her about that book of poems when she gets here at 8:30 this morning. Right now, though, let's turn our attention to some news from here and there. There was a pedestrian struck and killed over in Forest City last week. Dale Edward West, 65, of Forest City, was hit Tuesday night, June 21st at 9:44 p.m. as he crossed Oak Street using a marked crosswalk at Young Street. A 1992 Toyota 4x4 pickup truck driven by Christopher Chad Sneed, 47, of Bostik, was traveling east in the right lane on Oak Street. By the time Sneed saw West, there was not enough time to stop before striking the victim, according to reports by the Forest City Police. Reports state Sneed both braked and swerved toward the left in an effort to avoid hitting West. However, the front corner of the truck clipped the victim. West was knocked to the roadway about 85 feet away from the point of impact. First responders rendered aid to West amid efforts to take the victim to a landing zone to be airlifted to the hospital. However, West perished prior to the arrival of the medic helicopter. The fatality was deemed an accident with no fault assigned to Sneed. No charges were filed per the district attorney's determination that talking with police after about their findings. A crash reconstruction determined Sneed was traveling at a speed of 45 miles per hour at the time of impact. No formal searches are planned at this time. We have more details on that obituary as it becomes available to us. Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting that happened just before 8 p.m. Last night on Middle Street near the Caroline community. Sheriff Francis said the shooting appears to be a domestic situation. One woman was taken to the hospital and one man was taken into custody, according to the sheriff. He'll comment on that on his sheriff's report coming up here in just a few moments. One fatality has been reported after a fire broke out early Monday morning at a residence on Big Sky Drive in the Green Hill community near Rutherfordton. Firefighters were called to the scene around 2 a.m. Monday to battle the blaze, which significantly damaged the home. 6 fire departments responded to the deadly fire, as well as Rutherford County Emergency Management. The name of the deceased had not been released at press time of the Daily Courier. The State Bureau of Investigation is assisting local officials with the ongoing investigation. More details on that one as it becomes available to us. Meanwhile, over in Polk County, a fentanyl-laced lollipop has been linked to at least one of 5 drug overdoses that happened at the Tryon International Equestrian Center, according to Polk County Sheriff's Office. The overdoses happened during the PBR Tryon Shootout bull riding competition Friday, just June 24th, where approximately 4,000 spectators were in attendance. The reported overdoses at the Tryon International Equestrian Center on Friday, June 24th, were not affiliated with the PBR event held on the property and did not include any PBR staff or athletes. A representative for Tryon International Equestrian Center declined to comment, but stated they were fully cooperating with the Polk County Sheriff's Office in that investigation. According to Chief Deputy Jeff Ramsey, all 5 overdose victims were aware they were purchasing drugs. He added that the general public is in no danger of coming across drug-laced candy. Investigators have several suspects and charges are pending. Ramsey said that he believes all of the overdose victims have been treated and released from the hospital. The Friday night overdoses came on the heels of 3 fatal overdoses in the Polk County area in May. The sheriff's office suspects those 2 involved fentanyl as well. So these lollipops laced with fentanyl, folks. Just repeat that as a sign that be careful of what your kids are getting their hands on. Where the candy's coming from, we never know. A little more detail on the shooting over in Ellenboro Saturday night at a residence. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 532 Webb Road at 7:25 p.m., where they found Robert Buckner, 55, of Ellenboro, suffering from gunshot wounds to the left shoulder, right knee, and a flesh wound to the neck. He was taken to Spartanburg Regional Medical Center, where he was treated and then released at his own request, according to Sergeant Jimmy Upton. Bystanders on the scene initially subdued shooter James Tyler Flynn, 31, of Ellenboro, before he managed to break free. He then fled the scene on foot. Flynn was later apprehended by Cleveland County authorities outside Deb's Mini Mart. Flynn was charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Flynn was also charged with possession of a firearm by a felon. He was jailed in the Rutherford County Slammer under a $50,000 secured bond. Investigators are still probing the circumstances surrounding the shooting. Upton said of the altercation between Flynn and Buckner, "I don't have any exact reason. I don't know if we'll ever know." Flynn was reportedly looking for his girlfriend at the time he encountered Buckner. Flynn shot the victim with a .45 caliber handgun. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, the sheriff's report coming up here in just a few moments. The old Cliffside Dam was breached on June 18th, according to an article in the Daily Courier. Rutherford County Emergency Management personnel were on site at the dam, Old Main Street, 272 Old Main Street, after receiving a complaint that a breach had occurred. Formerly known as the Cliffside Cone Mills Dam, it was purchased by Navitas Utility Corporation in May and is approximately 90 years old. Officials with Navitas are continuing to work to resolve this issue. According to REM officials, Navitas utility employees were on site when the breach happened and said they began releasing water from the dam on June the 11th and had been releasing water each day since into the Second Broad River. Officials said a Navitas supervisor reported on the on-site crews were exercising the desilting floodgates in an attempt to relieve pressure on a larger floodgate that was stuck closed and potentially inoperative. According to the utility official, the dredging company is contracted to begin dredging operations around the dam's floodgates as well as an own silt island that has formed upstream behind the dam in July. They are continuing to investigate that case. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. It could be Navitas company on that, but we'll get more details on that as it becomes available to us. The Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Francis coming up here in just a moment. It's 18 minutes past 8 o'clock, bottom of the hour this morning. Special guest in the Blue Room with me is Nancy Womack, talking about a new book she's written, Red Jacket Requiem, and we'll find out more about that in just a few minutes.
Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Smith Drugs of Forest City is offering the flu vaccines. You can walk in Monday through Friday or by appointment only on Saturdays. The Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers, if you need assistance registering your recall devices, you can call the Home Medical Department at 245-4591. And Smith Drugs has a large selection of in-stock mastectomy bras, now half price. So come by our Home Equipment Department on West Main Street in Forest City. Smith Drugs, 245-4591. Sign-up forms are now available for the Meet Me at the Fountain 5K race to be held on Saturday, July the 23rd. Go to smithsdrugsfc.com.
You know, I check out the places that serve good food before I can recommend them to you. Well, I've checked it out, and I can recommend Scrappy's Food and Fuel to you. I can recommend them highly. At the intersection of 221 and Chase High Road, just below the Floyd's Creek Baptist Church, you can start your day with a full breakfast with handmade cathead biscuits, ham, sausage, delicious coffee, and more. Now, I'll have to admit I have not had their breakfast, but I've heard good things about their breakfast. Those Cathead biscuits are just really exceptional, I've heard. Now, I've had lunch, and those mouth-watering hamburgers and hot dogs, hand-breaded chicken tenders and onion rings. I had their homemade chicken salad just last week. Homemade pasta salad is getting rave reviews, chicken wings, and so much more. The Scrappy's Cafe is open 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day except Sunday. The store is open 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday 7 a.m. till 8. Now, Scrappy's Food and Fuel is now opening on Sundays from 9 to 6, but the cafe is closed on Sunday. Do yourself a favor and your friends and family. Do business with our friends at Scrappy's Food and Fuel on the corner of Chase High Road and Highway 221, just below Floyd's Creek Baptist Church. It's locally owned and operated, and you'll love it. You'll love it. Sheriff Francis was with us earlier this morning on the phone, gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department, and here it is.
Been extremely busy. In the last 24 hours, we have responded to 167 calls for service. There have been 11 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 197. Among those arrested, Kenny Edward Buff Jr., 36-year-old male of Far City, was charged with tampering with his sex offense monitor and received a $50,000 secure bond. Melissa Dawn Bailey, a 49-year-old female of Far City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $200 cash bond. Jasmine Cherie Lipscomb, 24-year-old female of Rutherford, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and received a $500 secure bond. Davion Marquez Flack, 30-year-old male, was charged with communicating threats and injury to property, received a $2,000 secure bond. Kevin Matthew Pruitt, 35-year-old male of Far City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear, received a $5,000 secure bond. Marshall Craig Rippey, 51-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with assaulting a female and communicating threats. We'll see a district court judge for bond for those, and is also involved in a shooting last night that's still under investigation. Shaylin Renee Lawler, 39-year-old female of Bostik, was charged with assault with a deadly weapon and received an unsecured bond. Among our incidents, we had larceny on Maple Creek Road in Robeson. There was a coin collection valued at $3,000 which was taken possibly from an estate of a recently deceased person. We had a break-in and larceny, Big Island Road, to an outbuilding. There was a washing machine valued at $250 as well as assorted clothing valued at $50 taken in that incident. We had another B&E in larceny to an outbuilding, US 221 South. There was a black TNT electric cutter tool valued at $10,000, a black TNT electric spreader tool valued at $10,000. Both of these are firefighting equipment. 6 red Makita battery chargers, as well as 6 Makita batteries, both valued at $1,000. 2 large recovery hooks valued at $500, and some large chains also involved in that incident. We had the assault with a deadly weapon there on Middle Street in Ellenboro. There appeared to be a domestic dispute between Marshall Castles, 44-year-old female. She was shot in the leg by Marshall Craig Rippey, 51-year-old male. So they were both shooting at each other with black powder pistols. I know that Marshall Rippey is a felon, but is not a possession of firearm by felon when it's a black powder pistol. But that is still under investigation. She was taken to Cleveland Hospital. She had a wound to her lower leg around the ankle area where she was struck by one of those rounds that hit her. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
And that was in Ellenboro, or was it Caroline?
It's an Ellenboro address. It's Middle Street, Caroline.
Yeah, okay.
It's odd where they call Ellenboro and Morrisboro, but it's all Caroline.
Yeah, Morrisboro goes forever and ever out there. You don't never know where it is, but it says Morrisboro address.
It always frustrates me that.
County when I hear Morrisboro, but
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. This particular address is Caroline all day long. I've always known it as that, but that is a considered Ellenboro address for, I guess, for mail purposes.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. The team with the best record in baseball rallying for a 9-5 win over the team with the worst record as the Yankees beat the Oakland Athletics. From New York, here's Mike Moriarty.
The Yankees grabbed their major league leading 23rd come-from-behind win, upending the Oakland A's 9-5.
The Yanks batted around and scored 6 runs in the 7th frame. Third baseman Josh Donaldson fueled the beginning with a go-ahead 2-run double, capping an unlikely rally built on 2 catcher's interference errors, a walk and a hit by pitch.
I mean, it's great. I mean, that's, it's huge. And, when you got your big boys doing their thing like Judge and Stanton and Riz, it kind of takes pressure off everybody else and, to be able to do their part as well.
Oakland had the lead after a 5-run third frame, coming off of Yanks starter Jordan Montgomery, but it was not enough as the A's have the worst record in baseball. They were handed their 50th loss of the year.
The Blue Jays beating the Red Sox 7-2. Blue Jays third baseman Matt Chapman says he learned from his first 2 at-bats and then used it in the 5th inning for a 2-run homer.
Obviously, first 2 at-bats didn't necessarily go the way I wanted them to, but, I think I made the adjustment there that 3rd at-bat.
In National League action last night, Dodgers shut out by the Colorado Rockies 4-0. Dodgers shortstop, former NC State star Trey Turner, says they didn't have an answer for the Rockies pitching.
We just weren't very good, so we didn't really deserve that offensively, deserved to win that game. I think our pitchers did a pretty good job keeping us, giving us a chance there late, but offensively pretty bad.
Nationals beat the Pirates 3-2. The Cardinals with a 9-0 shutout of the Marlins last night. Minnesota Twins 11-1 over the Cleveland Guardians. Texas Rangers 10-4 win over the Kansas City Royals. White Sox falling to the Angels 4-3. And the Baltimore Orioles picking up a 9-2 win over the Seattle Mariners. You're listening to NCN Sports.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
Learn more at electricities.com.
Do you find yourself considering a home generator when a storm is approaching? It's better to prepare now. A Generac automatic standby generator from Alternative Power guards the home against blackouts caused by weather of all types. 45 years in business and over 10,000 satisfied customers. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac automatic standby generator from Alternative Power. Terms and conditions apply. Financing options are available. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts. See more at alternativepower.com.
Kyrie Irving coming back to the Brooklyn Nets. He's coming off a tumultuous season where he only played 29 regular season games because he decided not to get vaccinated against COVID. Point guard wanted to be traded, but only the Lakers were interested. Not too shabby for Kyrie. He'll get a cool $36.5 million next year. CBS Sports NBA analyst Avery Johnson.
It's all about who has the leverage, who has the power, who has the suitors, and in this situation, his market was very, very small.
Deshaun Watson's legal team takes on the NFL today in front of a retired judge to determine his immediate future with the Cleveland Browns. Former U.S. District Court Judge Sue Robinson, who was jointly appointed by the League and the Players Association, will hold a hearing to determine whether he violated personnel policies. Tony Bixby, NCN Sports.
We're still seeing some lingering showers due to the cold front that moved through yesterday. It's just towards the south of our area, allowing us to see those scattered showers as we head throughout the day. But for the most part, areas well to the north will see dry conditions. Highs will be in the low to mid 80s today. Tomorrow, they'll top in the low to mid 80s. We do have a better chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms develop for tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in Weather Center.
Currently with 69 degrees and cloudy skies. We may get some sun peeking out here in just a little while. It's going to be one of those days. Looks like maybe partly cloudy skies, mostly sunny. Either way you want to look at that. Highs around 79 and wind gusting to about 11 miles per hour. And then tonight dropping back to about 65, lower than we are right now. Mostly cloudy with possibility of some isolated showers tonight. Scattered showers possibly in the morning and then clearing out of here again. And the next sign of rain looks like Thursday night. And let me look ahead to the weekend, see what the weekend looks like. Saturday, no rain, except on Sundays maybe we'll get a chance of some thunderstorms. So we get a Saturday with highs around 89 with the winds about 6 miles per hour. So pretty good weekend. Weather-wise, not too bad. Some didn't, so I don't know the reason for that, but it came a pretty good shower. In the studio with me right now is someone many of you know and recognize, been a long-time friend of mine, Nancy Womack.
is here with me. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. How are you?
Glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
Nancy has written a book called Red Jacket Requiem. Let me tell you a little bit about Nancy. She's retired Dean of Arts and Sciences at Isothermal Community College, lives in the western North Carolina foothills where she spends her time reading, writing poetry, entertaining friends and family, and working in her ever-changing, ever-expanding ornamental gardens. She is active in several organizations, including the North Carolina and South Carolina region of the American Daily List Society and the Symphony of Rutherford County. Her poem appears in various journals and anthologies, including Hermit Feathers Review, Broad River Review, The Widow's Handbook, Kent State University, and Widow's Words by Rutgers. And she's an excellent musician, too, before I forget it. Nancy, this book, Red Jacket Requiem, just out. Tell us about the title. What's the title mean, Red Jacket Requiem?
Well, a requiem, of course, is a mass for the dead. And the red jacket is a recurring image in the book. It refers to just a fleece jacket that I bought my husband for his last Christmas gift. And the title actually came from my friend Larry Gregg.
Yes. Larry was on not too long ago with his book.
Yes, Larry's a fine writer and a wonderful person, a great friend. And he was one of the first readers. So it didn't have a title. And he suggested that, and I just thought that was a fabulous way to introduce the book.
Now, what's the theme of the book? What's the purpose of the book?
Well, the book was written primarily as a memorial kind of thing regarding my husband who died of cancer. But it was more for my purposes than anything else. It was a healing process. I've always felt that writing is just the best way one can express those inner feelings, whether you share it with anybody or not. It's just a good way to deal with things that you're dealing with. And I really encourage other people who may be in the same situation, people who've lost a loved one, a husband, a parent, brother, sister, whomever, to do that. You may never publish it, but do it for yourself. And that's kind of how it started.
Now, when did your husband die? How long ago?
My husband died in 2005. And I had written some of the things even before he died, but what you see in the book is far different from what was originally put on a piece of paper.
Oh, really?
Because I think when emotions are raw, you express them in rawer terms. You express maybe more anger or more frustration or more sadness. So over time, the things that Larry read in the beginning changed dramatically. Many of them were shortened dramatically. There's one poem in the book called Treatments. And if you've ever known anyone who suffered from cancer, you know there are various things, various stages, and all kinds of things from radiation and surgery, whatever. And so that poem was very long, and it was so full of anger you would not believe it. And then when you read it in the book, you see it stripped down to, I think it's 2 stanzas, and each one's maybe 3 lines. So it took a long time to get to that point, to realize that, you know, for some people they work, and for others they don't.
But it's a very healthy process for you to write.
Oh, it was a healthy process to go through that. And that's what I would encourage other people to do, is just put it out there. For yourself, if for nobody else.
This is not your first book. You've written several, haven't you?
I've never written a complete book. I've written a lot of poetry over my lifetime, and I have said before, I'm not a self-promoter. A lot of it's still in the drawer.
Well, after this one, you should bring them back out because it's well.
But I have
well
had
written.
quite a few published in different journals and things of that sort. Yes, I have written a couple of smaller books. One about my family, a lot of poems about family, and I also wrote another small chapbook about gardening, particularly about daylilies, because that's one of my passions, and it became my passion more or less after I retired from my job at Isothermal and had time and My husband had already passed at that time, so had a big yard and nothing much in it, and that just became something that I fell in love with, and now I am a dirt beneath the fingernails kind of person. Wear fingernail polish to cover up the dirt.
The daylilies are pretty rugged plants, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and there's so many varieties that most people don't even know about. There are thousands and thousands of them, and all kinds of colors, shapes, and forms. So, yeah, I've learned a lot about those little boogers.
So you would probably be an expert on daylilies. Maybe
I
you
know
should,
a few
maybe
things.
You should do it. Have you written a book on daylilies?
I've written poems about daylily people and about daylilies, yeah.
Well, they're beautiful. Daylilies are beautiful. I have a few in my yard, too, that I've enjoyed. We don't have many, but we always like them because they seem to hold up through the thick and thin of it.
They're very hardy.
Yeah. What do you hope folks would get out of this book?
Well, I hope they would get out of this that loss and grief is universal, but that you can recover from that loss and that grief, and you can go on and live a productive and happy life.
Well, you seem to have right now have the right attitude about looking back on this and what it meant to you and how helpful it was to you to write it. And I suspect that anybody who reads it that has gone through the loss of a loved one would experience some of the same growth that you've done.
Well, and that also is a point. I'm hoping that other people can benefit from knowing that, they're not alone.
Yeah. The title of the book is Red Jacket Requiem, and Nancy Harmon Womack is the author. Poems by Nancy Womack. How can folks get a copy of this?
Well, just get on your computer and Google Hermit Feathers Press.
Hermit Feathers Press.
It's a little publisher in Clemens, North Carolina, and they have it available on their website.
Good. Will you be doing any signing of the books, any place local? Would they be available?
I've had one reading so far. It was at the Garden Woods Cafe up in Green Hill. And if anybody wants me to, I'd be happy to.
Yeah. It'd be great to have a session and read some and let folks buy the book. You signed them for them. And
I would be happy to do
great
that.
Encouragement, yeah.
Yes.
We can't work some of those places out for you. What's next for you in writing, Nancy?
Well, I'm working on a collection about growing old.
Oh, well, that should be interesting.
And the various ways that people age and what happens to us along the way. It's not the most popular thing to be an older poet, although my poems are all kinds of forms and shapes, and you don't have to worry, they don't rhyme. They're not sing-song. My sister-in-law described it to my brother-in-law, who has said, well, I don't like poetry. She said, well, it reads more like prose. So I think it does. So, yeah, I'm working on that. I'm also working on a collection about gardening. And
that sounds great. Now, did you take up writing poems later in life, or did you do that in college?
Oh, I've written it. I've written all my life.
Maybe. Well, it's I'm sure it's changed its tone over the years.
Oh, definitely.
Different emphasis as you get older.
Absolutely.
But I'm delighted to have gotten a copy of this and read through this. I read it through over the weekend. And what's your favorite one out of this? Do you have a favorite?
I think it's Memorial Gardens.
Yeah. Let me see here if I find that. If you find that, maybe we get you to read that for us.
It's page 24.
24. Okay. Would you mind reading that for us?
I would love to.
Okay.
It's called Memorial Gardens, and it's, of course, addressed to my husband. Your last gift to me, 9 rose bushes spaced evenly against a retaining wall, I have expanded into 360 degrees of gardens surrounding our home. Straight lines and sharp angles are softened now by winding paths, curved stone walls, a circular opening left in a concrete patio for a Japanese maple, and a small pagoda. A shady space beneath the deck nurtures hellebores and hostas, oxalis, amaryllis, and ferns. Nearby, our wedding arch hangs heavy with Carolina jasmine. A sunny alcove with angel trumpets, verbena, and Casablanca lilies bordered in sweet lavender exudes peace and tranquility. There's rosemary for remembrance, lemon balm for healing, and time, a time to mourn and a time to be comforted. In my garden, I have redefined myself. I have shaken my fist at God and bowed to his presence in the face of a David Austin rose. In my garden, I have learned to be still and know.
That's beautiful. Memorial Gardens by Nancy Womack. I would encourage those of you who have those clubs and organizations around the county, you're looking for a program, call Nancy and let her do some readings for you. I think that'd be great.
Thank you.
Now, how can they get in touch with you?
Probably the best way is through email, which is all lowercase, Nancy H. Womack, that's WOMACK, @gmail.com.
Nancy, it's been a pleasure having you with us, and good luck with the book, and I hope you sell a bunch of copies because it can mean a lot to a lot of people, and I just think it's great. We're honored that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me, Jim. I appreciate it.
I hope to see you again the next time you write another book. I hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Oh, quickly before you go, now, it's a symphony. Are they still doing anything?
We take the summer off,
Do you?
but we're planning for the fall. We're planning our children's concert, which will be October 21st. This is for the the school kids, 4th and 5th graders. Usually entertain about 1,500 kids. And then we're having our annual holiday concert the first Friday in December, the date I don't recall. And we'll have our spring concert the 30th of April of next year. So, yeah, we're getting lined up for that. We had a long hiatus like everybody did because of COVID.
Sure.
And it's been a hard time kind of getting everything reorganized and back together, but we're getting there.
Well, folks enjoyed the symphony. Keep us posted on those. We'll help you publicize those. Nancy Womack, my guest this morning, and have a great weekend, a good day.
Thank you so much, and thank you.
And I'll be back in just a moment.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket. Bostik Florist now has a showroom full of gorgeous home decor. Now available, stylish lamps, a new line of candles called Root Candles, wreaths, beautiful lifelike artificial flowers and plants, and so much more. And of course, they always have been and will be your local hometown friendly florist that can deliver some of the most beautiful arrangements. Or if you have an event coming up, call on Bostik Florist. They have trained professionals to help make your day special. Whatever it is, they're located at 196 North Main Street in Bostik.
Are you tired of waiting for weeks and months to get an appointment with your primary care provider? Or looking for a primary care provider that spends 30 minutes with you instead of just 10? There's one right here in our area. Brock Family Care, located at 289 Shallow Road in Forest City. Brock Family Care provides primary health care and urgent care services for you and your family, as well as coordinate care between hospitals and specialty care. They don't accept insurance, but they have a unique pricing model that should be pleasing to everyone. Check them out at www.brockfamilycare.com or simply call 828-382-7282. My Great America coming up at 9:05 this morning with Jim and Butch. My Great America will receive program across the Fruited Plain. A lot of folks responding back to us on that. Braves and the Phillies this evening, 5:50 airtime with that game. They were off last night. Be back in action with the Phillies for it looked like a 3-game series, and then they take on the Cincinnati Reds for a series. And the Braves are not too bad out there. They're doing pretty good. They'll win some, lose a few, and win some more. Again, that title of that book, if you're interested, Red Jacket Requiem, poems by Nancy Harmon Womack. If you find that somewhere, pick that up. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to take a little pause for the calls and get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch this morning. An interesting program. Butch is in the building, and we like to do this program. And thank you for your response back to us. Now, we got a lot to pack in this week, a lot of things going on. We want you to be you're the best audience in the world. We like to keep you informed as well as entertained and hopefully inspired from time to time. So Lock it in at 100.9 FM, 590 AM, and we're always pleased to have you as part of our audience. You make us happy when we know that you're there. Let me see if there's anything else I need to remind you of. I think maybe that's all the reminders, and I'm going to, as I say, take a little breather break here to get out of the way, clear the blue room, and we'll be back in a little after 9:05 this morning.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM, and now on FM at 100.9 FM.
Can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Call Total Financial now at 800-208-1312. 800-208-1312.
Sherry Preston.
We're still seeing some lingering showers due to the cold front that moved through yesterday. It's just towards the south of our area, allowing us to see those scattered showers as we head throughout the day. But for the most part, areas well to the north will see dry conditions. Highs will be in the low to mid 80s today. Tomorrow, they'll top in the low to mid 80s. We do have a better chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms develop for tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We're still cloudy here in the foothills and 70 degrees, but we should be warming up nicely, probably up into the 80s, perhaps maybe around 79 to 80 today. Going to be a pretty good day, so let's rise and shine. It's going to be a great day. It's 9:05 right now.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch.
Good morning, Jim. We both have blue shirts on today.
You got the memo, I see.
You know what? And I didn't wear a jacket. For some reason, I felt compelled to just wear a blue shirt today.
You look relaxed.
You know what? Before we do anything else, both of us have a dear, dear friend, Bud Byers.
Yes.
And Bud had an unfortunate experience, folks, where, and by the way, if you don't know who he is like the mastermind of local election data. He comes in with spreadsheets and he'll tell me, oh, Butch, we had 9 people in Bostik that shifted from this to this. He just has his finger on the pulse. But you know what? Speaking of pulse, he had to go to the hospital, and he had gallbladder surgery, right?
That's correct. That's what I understand.
And he was in ICU for a little bit. He's at the Rutherfordton Hospital, and hope to see him later today. Bud, listen, we know you listen in regularly, and your friend Jim Bishop and your friend Butch Maltby have you on our hearts, and we're praying that God gives you a speedy recovery. He gives you life and health and healing and hope, because we need you, Bud.
We need you out here, Bud.
We need you out here in the fight. The days are too dark. They're too weighty. We can't have you laid up in that hospital bed. And I'm sure before you leave there, if there is a Democrat on that hallway, they're going to shift their alliance to the Republican Party, or at least you're going to do your best to try to give them the case for why they should do that.
He may even have some registration forms to change the registration.
You know what, Bud? We're not being loose or foolish here. You are something else. When it comes to getting donations for the Republican Party for an event, when it comes to analyzing what's happening with the voter rolls, when it comes to really giving an accurate... Did you hear me? Given?
I like that.
Yeah, where's the G now, Jim? I'm starting to clip my words. I think it's happening to me right here on My Great America with Jim and Butch. But when it comes to understanding the county, when it comes to really having a keen analytical sense of what's taking place, Bud, you're without imitation. The word in the Funkin' Wagnalls or the Merriam-Webster or the Oxford Dictionary, inimitable, means without imitation. That is him.
That's Bud. We miss him already.
We miss you already. So you get better. Let God heal you. Remember that one of the monikers, one of the names of God, is the great physician. And so, Jim, I just want to pray for him real quick.
Sure, please do.
So if it's your inclination to do so, just pause here now as we pray for Bud. Living God, we're so grateful that we can come to you, and we cry out now for our friend Bud. And just to ask that every detail of his body would be healed, whatever it was that was going wrong with the gallbladder, now that it's removed. Jesus, please just give him health and life. And God, we know that our days are numbered. It says in Scripture, teach us to number our days so we'll apply our hearts to wisdom. We want to be wise. We want to hear your voice and do your will, as it says in John 5:30. We know that medical science tells us that each of us have about 3 billion heartbeats. And we don't want one heartbeat to be lived in sin. We want to hear your voice, do your will, and be a bright light in the community. Bless Bud, encourage him, and heal him, bring him back to us quickly and safely we pray in your holy name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
You know what, Jim? We have a lot of interesting people that listen to My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Yes.
I hear from them. We get texts, sometimes calls, and folks will even stop me sometimes and say, it's almost Jim. It really is this. Are you that guy that's with Jim? Yeah. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to try to share truth on these Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're many hundreds of episodes now in for this. But there's somebody also that I know real well. Her name is Edith. And Edith listens to us, and she's an octogenarian plus. She's an 80-something plus. But you know what? She handed me this. It says Butch on the outside. It's an envelope, so I opened it this morning. And, with honor and deference for the people that pray for us. I know there are people that pray for us and people that listen. Hari is another one. He's from Sweden. And he attends my church, Word of Faith Fellowship. When we have prayer, corporate prayer, Monday nights, I'll often sit next to Hari and just get to know kind of his battles in life. And, he's been a warrior for God, and God's still doing things in his life like he is for all of us. But Edith gave me this envelope, and I opened it up this morning. And what I found, this is really interesting, are these cards. And it's from Judicial Watch, great organization. And it's some sayings from our founding fathers. So I thought this morning,
great, yeah.
just as a way of saying thank you, Edith, for these, I'm going to read these. Okay, so this is George Washington. He once said, "Truth will ultimately prevail where pains are taken to bring it to light." Isn't that good?
I like that.
We're going to leave these here at WCAB. Here's one from Thomas Jefferson. "If we are to guard against ignorance, Jim, and remain free, it is the responsibility of every American to be informed."
Very
Thomas Jefferson.
Very true. Wise
Got
man.
all the presidents here.
Wise man.
Okay, here's one from James Madison. "A popular government without popular information or the means of acquiring it is but a prologue to a force or a tragedy, or perhaps both." That's very relevant. He didn't know about Facebook or Twitter or Instagram when he made those comments. If you don't get reliable information, you're going to be subject to propaganda. Popular government without popular information or the means of acquiring it is but a prologue to a farce or tragedy, or perhaps both. And then one more. By the way, these your office is like a little subset of the Smithsonian Institution.
Yes.
You can go in your office, you got stuff. You ought to see it, folks. Creative minds are rarely tidy. Jim's office is like a little piece of history here in the county. The last one is from Sam Adams. He said, "No people will tamely surrender their liberties, nor can be easily subdued when knowledge is diffused and virtue is preserved." And that's what we try to do every Tuesday and Thursday. You know what? Our founding fathers had a lot to say about God, the country, about the responsibility of our citizenry. And we need to get back to personal responsibility, don't we? We are our brother's keeper.
And we need to stay above the fray of the negativity and stay positive throughout these situations that are going on too. May I stop our train of thought just a moment? I mentioned who the winner of the cookbook was last week.
Yes.
Cynthia Kuhn was the winner. We didn't know that until we were off the air, so she was happy to get that cookbook, the Amish cookbook. And
right.
I had to fight off people all along to keep it safe till she got here to pick it up.
Exactly. So what's her name again?
Cynthia Kuhn. She's already picked it up.
Great. She picked it up?
He has. Her husband picked it up for her. Wasn't that nice?
You know what? That's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to, in honor, defer to each other. And, I've told folks before, when you have friends or you're in a marriage relationship, you really need to not try to outlove each other, but we need to lay down our lives for each other, Jim. It's much more blessed to give than receive.
Mm-hmm.
I love the opportunity to bring Jesus, and that's the greatest gift of all that we can ever give anyone. I was thinking a lot about prices. By the way, most people, I'm going to let you in on a secret about Jim Bishop for a minute. I'm going to talk about him third person. He likes little snacks.
I do.
He likes little snacks. I usually see him sitting over here after the My Great America with Jim and Butch program with skinny popcorn, but he also likes nuts and other things. So, Jim, this morning I was down at the Exxon, and I got you some planters, honey roasted cashews. So
I
when
love
you're
it. Oh,
overwhelmed
yeah.
by everything else that's going on, not overwhelmed, but when you're dealing with everything else, that'll be your afternoon snack. And it's a tiny little thing, but I've got this rhythm in my mornings where I'll go by the Exxon, get a little cup of coffee. I'll usually get a Daily Courier, except for Mondays when they don't print, and I'll get a couple little things for the folks that are here. And so for you, if it's nuts or something like that, you like sweet and sour, I know, hey, you know what, that's Jim's love language. For Tracy, it's chocolate. She likes chocolate in any different variety. For Todd, I know he's taken seriously trying to lose some weight, so I usually get him a meat stick.
Yes.
Some protein. And then for Lou, I just try to get a hold of what might be sweet for Lou. But you know what? We're friends, and friends look out for each other.
Well, you're very generous, very thoughtful.
Well, I want to be, because like I was saying to Tracy here the other day, this is part of my family. God's provided part of my family here at WCAB. And I have to say this, folks, this will be what I call a penetrating look into the obvious. This family is incredibly interesting. As a matter of fact, if I was in a book writing mode, there is a book called WCAB that I think a lot of people would enjoy reading. Some of the things that happen here I could put in the book.
Some of the things you couldn't.
Well, it's probably discretion is the better part of valor, and but it's a wonderful opportunity just to remember that life is short, and we are called to walk together. It's a song we sing at my church. We're called to walk together, and we are a brother's keeper. Our pastor regularly reinforces that, and I want people in my life who, if they see me straying off the cliff of indifference or error, I don't want to be deceived. That's why we need each other.
Yes.
Most people don't know this, but I've come to Jim on a number of occasions to help me just ascertain what wisdom is and what truth is here in the county. Because when we're impulsive and we respond to people, we don't really hear what's being said, and we don't ask God, would you help me understand what's really being said here? If we don't pause and we just jump into the fray, what happens, Jim, is we energize all the devils that are at work, and then you wonder why you've got a situation.
Yes. Yes.
And we don't need to do that. We need to remember, for example, the words in Proverbs. If you're not in your Bible, get in your Bible. There's so many incredible life principles there. For example, I was reading this morning Proverbs 17, starting in verse 11. A rebellious man seeks only evil, therefore a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a ferocious bear robbed of her cubs. That's bad. Let a man meet a ferocious bear robbed of her cubs rather than the angry, narcissistic fool in his folly. Whoever returns evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is like letting out water as from a small break in a dam. First it trickles, and then it gushes. Therefore, abandon the quarrel before it breaks out and tempers explode. That is practical wisdom. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you know in your heart, this is not going the right direction? Well, stop.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Proverbs is a book that could be attached to us because of words of wisdom throughout every chapter, every verse, words of wisdom from the wise man.
Yeah, and I think I told you, we used to have the bread of life right there in the center. There were a couple of things that I distinctly remember. One was my dad, who would often take his belt off and loop it through a metal circle thing on the chandelier, and that would hang there. So he ate dinner. So that was there, and underneath that, Jim, was a plastic bread loaf. And in that bread loaf was the bread of life, and it was a New Testament scripture and a Psalms or Proverbs on the backside. And I've confessed this to you before. There were times, and my mother, who was really the spiritual leader in our home, she would have us pull out one of those at the end of the meal and read it, because she wanted us to not just eat the Texas hash that she made. She apologized. She's so sweet. She said, I am so sorry, Butch, for all the casseroles that I made through the years. It was the only way I knew to stretch the food budget dollar. And I thought, you know what a sweet mom that she did that. And but anyway, she would have us read the scriptures, and there were times, I've confessed this before, and it was sin. It was treachery on my part, where something would be going on in my day during the day, and the verse would be like a laser right at the point, and I wouldn't like it. So when she wasn't looking, I would put it back in and grab another verse. So I've asked God to forgive me for that deception that that took place. Hey, have you noticed prices are going up?
I have noticed that. Has anyone not noticed that?
Yeah, it's like the big mystery when you go places, and I just kind of sit there and listen to what they tell me something is going to cost. I found myself reflecting, Jim, on what things used to cost, and so I did a little bit of research. You know how I am. I did a little bit of research. This was after I was born in 1956, but in 1965, listen to this. You could get a few food items for close to $1, but for the most part, the things you'd need to buy cost quite a bit less. So you can fill your vintage shopping cart from 1965. Remember 1965?
I do.
Where were you in 1965?
I was in college.
Okay.
Georgetown College, Kentucky.
Okay. Well, in 1965, we were in Virginia, and the next year, 1966, is when my dad went to Southeast Asia, to Vietnam. He was there in 66 and 67. Well, in 1965, you could get a gallon of milk for 90 cents. You could get one regular-sized bottle of Heinz ketchup for 22 cents. You could get a dozen eggs for 53 cents. Tracy will like this. You could get a 1-ounce Hershey bar for 5 cents.
Wow.
For a nickel. Although the price remained the same, the size of the bar shrunk to 7/8 of an ounce in 1966 and 3/4 of an ounce in 1968. That's a conspiracy. It's a chocolate conspiracy.
Yes.
They're charging more and giving you less and less.
Yes.
Have you noticed? Like bags of nuts and things, they're shrinking that down too.
All the packages seem to be smaller than they were.
Pillsbury cake mix in 1965, 25 cents. You could get a pound of pork chops for $1.03. By the way, a friend of mine who was part of an advertising agency up in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, he was the one who came up, I may have mentioned this before, with that marketing moniker, that marketing line, pork, the other white meat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was a friend of mine that did that. A pound of sirloin steak in 1965, 85 cents.
Wow.
And a 6-pack of Pepsi was 59 cents. So, you know what, we're looking at prices, but you know what, I found myself being grateful, Jim. We're still in a country where we can get food. A lot of countries around the world are looking at major famine issues, particularly sub-Saharan Africa. And if we don't have a grateful heart, God scorns that. We need to have a heart that's grateful. We used to have our children say 3 things every day they were grateful for. And before they would have to do their chores after dinner, you know, we would have them go around and say 3 things they were grateful for. And we need to cultivate a heart of gratitude. And you do that, right?
We do. When our grandkids and family that lived in New York came back home, and they were living with us for a period of time, and sitting around the table, my grandsons had learned to do this at home, and we go around the table, what made you happy today?
Yeah.
And we all had to point out something that made us happy today, and we do that at every meal. It got to be a routine. What made you happy today? So you had to think about that. You know, we grumble about all the things that disturbed us, but what made us happy today?
Right.
And you always had to point out something, and it was very easy to do that. And one of the things, of course, I could be happy about at that point is my grandkids loved that idea enough to insist that we all do it together.
You know, and here's something I'm tremendously grateful for. In recent weeks, I've had the opportunity to interact with 6 of my 7 grandsons. And I was up there in Asheville. They just completed camp at a camp in North Carolina called Deerfoot out in the boonies. And I had the chance to be with them. They called me Pop-Pop. And, you know, I had 3 teenage daughters and a wife at the time. And God's blessed me with 7 grandsons.
That's great.
And they call me Pop-Pop, and 3 of them have been adopted out of foster care, and it's just a wonderful time to remember again what's really important, which is family. You know, Jim, God's been really impressing on my heart a lot recently that we need to be still and know that He is God. Be still. And one of the challenges in my life, you know, I've dealt with addictions in my life. I've talked about, God's work in my life to deliver me from later in life alcoholism, but I was a workaholic from the time I was little. My mother says that the first words out of my mouth were a question that she remembers, and the question was 2 words: what's next? She said, you used to go around saying, what's next? What's next? Well, you know, I want to make sure that I'm led and I'm not driven, but I was reminded that one way we can pause in the day is to reflect on the grandeur of God. God is God, and we are not. And so as we end the program this morning, this story was so powerful in my life. I remember in July of 1969, Jim, at Keystone Farm in the Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton area of Pennsylvania, my uncle's dairy farm, 287 Holsteins. I remember something powerful happened in 1969 in July, and it was the lunar landing that happened. Well, listen to this story as we end this morning. Apollo 8 was the first manned mission to circle the moon. It entered lunar orbit December 24th, 1968. That evening, the 3 astronauts, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and William Anders, did a live television broadcast during the 9th lunar orbit in which they showed pictures of the Earth and Moon seen from Apollo 8. At the time, the broadcast was the most watched television program ever in history. About 6 weeks before the launch, a NASA official had called Borman and said, we figure more people will be listening to your voice than that of any man in history up to that point. So, we want you to say something appropriate. Appropriately, the Apollo 8 team ended the broadcast taking turns reading from the book of Genesis.
How about that?
Listen to this, William Anders. This is exactly what they said, circling the moon. William Anders. We are now approaching lunar sunrise, and for all the people back on Earth, the crew of Apollo 8 has a message that we would like to send to you. In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light, and God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness.
That's great.
Then Jim Lovell said, and God called the day light, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the third day. And then astronaut number 3, Frank Borman, concluded by saying, and God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he the seas. And God saw that it was good. And then he concluded by saying, and from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, and God bless all of you on the good earth.
I like that. I like that.
You know, Jim, given the opportunity, briefed by NASA, more people are going to listen to you than up to that point anybody has had the audience that you will have. They could have chosen a lot of things. They could have chosen stories or anecdotes or quotations from other people. But they chose the timeless, timely, unshakable, infallible, inherent Word of God to pronounce to people. And I cannot help but believe, Jim, that was a laser light of truth that came as they circled the moon. And that is the America, Jim, that we bubble up out of. And we can have that again, but only if we cry out to the living God in the spirit of what it says in Scripture. If my people, the church, people that claim to love Jesus, who are called by my name, the name of Jesus, will humble themselves and pray. And then he gives the promise. He'll heal our land. But it will not happen if we're indifferent, if we're lazy, and we don't remember again that God has given us truth so that we can be truth bearers, just as those astronauts did, circling the the moon for the first time.
And what better people to do that kind of reading from folks who are seeing God's almighty power on the
Exactly. God put us on what Carl Sagan once called this pale blue dot, this pale blue orb, for a purpose. We have two purposes in life. When I was a youth pastor years ago, a lot of people don't know that, at Tabernacle Church in Norfolk, Virginia, I used to tell our young people we only have two assignments in life: to know Him and to make Him known. And as we do that, whatever place in the community God's put you, every place that we're in, we're an emissary, we're an ambassador, we're a representative, we're a regent to the King. He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, way above any political party or president. God bless America.
God bless America. See you next time.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.